How are you doing?
Good. How are you, Kelly?
Good. Very well, thank you.
Good. Hello to you joining us for episode 26 of A Measure of Marketing, all about why your picture matters with Victoria Wilcox. Welcome, Victoria.
Hi. I'm really happy to be here. I've listened to a lot of your podcasts and I very much enjoy them. It's quite pleasant to be appearing.
Yes, I do love it when you send a text message to me and let me know that you've got it on in the background while you're doing your artwork.
Yeah.
So
I listened to you both talking, and in fact yesterday I was listening to one. I just picked one at random depending what vibe I'm in, and I'll be either painting or editing, and I'm listening to you and I'm hoping it's going in the ear.
Subliminal.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Because I think if you hear something that resonates, you do pick up on it automatically. You don't have to try too hard.
Amazing. So Victoria, we have worked together, haven't we, on a couple of different projects.
Yeah.
So the theme of this episode is around your profile picture, and all of the imagery that I use at the minute across all of my channels, my professional photography, is by you. A couple of others by someone else, but yeah, mostly by you. So, and I guess as a small business owner, the reason why I came to you was because I think sometimes we think photography can be really expensive, and it can be a big setup as well. And I think small business owners, it can feel quite overwhelming, as in I'm not sure what to expect, I'm not sure what to expect. But you have pop-up portraits, which is a small session for business owners to dip into, and you create a really lovely environment around it to make people, so you really understand people and the business owner, don't you? And at a super affordable cost as well. So it provides you with everything that you need to start your business, or if you've got a small business. And we've had lots of conversation about the importance of profile pictures and making sure that they match with your brand. So talk to us a little bit about your pop-up portraits. So how did you come up with that idea, and why did you think it was important for small businesses to have that ease of that service?
Well, what a great question to kick off with. My background is in working in press work, primarily. That's the longest time I've spent in any one place, or one place is a ridiculous thing to say, all the places. Just last week I was photographing a member of the royal family who the next day was on the Buckingham Palace balcony. That's always a bit weird to watch the TV and go, he was next to me yesterday. So some of my background is very much intrinsically linked with storytelling. And the reason that, without giving you a history of Pictoria, the reason it developed was a lot of people, I could sense that they wanted to, they knew what I could do. They knew I could tell stories. They'd seen the stuff I'd done with celebrities, I work a lot with the Derby Museums. I work a lot on brand shoots and stuff like that. And they were thinking, well, she's good at that and she knows what she's doing and she could probably help me, but I've got this. So I could just do a selfie. I don't need to pay anyone to do it. I mean, how stupid would I look? Because I could take a picture on my phone. I could just do a selfie by the window and, I'm done. But I've got a concept in that that's not really fair on people, and they shouldn't have to invest hundreds of pounds with me to have a big brand shoot. People still do, especially in the larger companies. But I sort of formulated this idea probably about 3 or 4 years ago, where I picked a venue and then I would carve out slots, and this is all calling on my experience in the press, really, from logistics. And I might be able to do like a whole day wedding, which is fully immersive, and a brand shoot. But I noticed I needed to offer something a little bit more bite-sized for people who wanted to invest in themselves, but just couldn't justify, or didn't want to get together with other people and go, look, let's get Pictoria in and do some pictures, man. Because also there's some kind of, like you said in your intro there's some kind of self-indulgence about it. There's a vanity. There's a, I'm not having portraits done. I had a lady last week that said, somebody asked me today, why are you going to go and have your power portrait done. What's that? And she was like, because I want to, for me. And people are still justifying it. So to answer your question a bit more concisely, I knew that there was a need for people to have something more bite-sized. And in fact, when I do these portrait sessions, they're half an hour, and the person only needs half an hour if they don't go for the makeup option, which I have now. And they come in, they talk to me for 15 minutes. They have I don't know what I'm telling you, but I'm telling Hayley because you haven't had it. Then we do pictures for 15 minutes. That comes out with probably about 30 professional pictures to look at, and you pick your favourite ones, all included in the package. And what's more is I developed over the sort of last 3 years this sort of pacing of it, this sort of like process that I refined and refined and refined. So I asked specific questions and sent out a questionnaire before, and I realised that this was a really good way for me, so here's my buy-in, to meet people that I want to collab with, especially you, Kelly, because I'd seen you at networking before. You probably hadn't thought about having pictures. Why do you need pictures? Because you've got some already. But since we've done that together, we've done other things together. I'm coming to your events, and we're recognizing each other at networking. Then when we go to networking, I'm like, oh, I know who you need to speak to. You need to speak to KJ Branding, because actually, oh, you should listen to the podcast. She's on this podcast with Hayley.
Yeah, you're very good at that. Yeah.
And actually, that's what it's all about. So the reason it developed was a direct need to have something like, you know, when you go to the checkout and there's some sweets and you think, oh, I wanted to make it as easy as that.
Yeah.
And as cheap as that, so that it wasn't a huge investment. And in actual fact, when people invest the money that they spend on that portrait session now, if they then book me straight away to do other stuff, I take that money off, so it's free.
Yeah. And I think, like, you think of how much that actually costs, and how much I've used that first. So I had my pictures done with you in my first year of business, and then I've just had them refreshed, because you change, don't you, as a business owner, and your business progresses over time and you want it to be reflective of you. Well, that's where my mindset goes with it. I guess it does, because I'm in marketing and that's what we would advise business owners to do. But actually the price of your pop-up portraits versus how much I've actually used them across all of the channels is like, you can't even compare that now.
And that's as it should be. But if there's a huge block between what people are willing to spend on themselves, it's like when you justify you're going to spend £700 on a pair of shoes.
Yes, yeah.
It's the same. It's exactly the same. It's just a different thing. And also on that, I do have a strong belief that when we go networking, we have so much trouble sometimes explaining what we do. So just to take it a step further, I know that I can see people, and I know the questions to ask to ascertain what their true value is. And I know instantly if someone's not feeling confident. A lot of people walk into my portrait sessions like this, like, oh, hi there, how are you? Nice to meet you. They walk out like that. Like, they literally walk out. I've had people tell me last week that had their makeup done before. They're like, I went out for dinner afterwards. It was amazing. I had my makeup done. And I have like a girl who's an award-winning makeup girl called Sam, Life of a Beauty Girl.
She's so nice. Yeah.
She's amazing, who you met.
Yeah.
She's won awards for wedding makeup. And again, I have found with the most successful things in my business as Pictoria, there's a lot of persuasion required at the outset, like there is in all art. So it took a lot for me I tried out different venues and now use the Derby Museums exclusively because they invest in me for work anyway. So I'm there.
Venue as well, and that's back up, isn't it? Yeah.
Yeah, and I can walk around and do anywhere I want. I've got free reign, which I'm the only photographer that has that. But ultimately, I think if you come up with an idea and you can refine it and refine it and refine it so that you get better and better and better results, like marketing, like you've said in previous podcasts, showing up and doing the posts or doing the marketing, you don't know who's watching, you don't know how the other person's really feeling. Like, I remember Kelly, when you came in for your first portraits. And I remember you talking to me. I asked you my questions. I'm not going to do all spoilers here. If people want to come and have it, they'll find out what the questions are. But, you know, if you don't mind me saying,
Yeah, go
edit it out if you do. You have the power. I remember you saying to me, "Oh, do you know what? I'm not sure people take me seriously. I look very young."
Yes, I do.
Remember?
Yes, I do. Yeah.
I remember these things. You see, it's all intrinsically linked with the image.
Yeah.
So when I use that, I'm remembering, I'm capturing it as well. So I remember you saying, I'm not sure if people always take me seriously. I feel like sometimes I look a bit young because they're like, are you an expert in this? I registered what you said and tried to show you in the picture that you absolutely exuded certainty and the power that was in you. I felt this huge pride, and I do for every single person that comes to me, in, I'm going to show you what that is. Now, yeah. It 2 times out of 50, I'd say, can't get past the barrier of what their personal perception of themselves is. Can't.
Okay.
Twice that's happened in 50 sittings. And actually, I've seen both people since and said, "What? I got the impression that you," and they were like, "Yeah, I'm just not happy with myself right now." So it's not completely bulletproof, but I think if going back to what I started with, if you're going to networking and someone goes, "Oh, what do you do?" and you're like, "Well, why do you think it's okay for you to choose the picture that goes on social media to represent you?" Because actually, you're putting out an image of what you might approve a selfie of yourself to put out. How do you know that that actually looks like you to others? And it could be damaging. You said before about like catfishing. Like, if your picture is older than your phone, we need to talk.
Yes, yeah. Yeah, and I guess it's psychology, isn't it, here? So as in, there's that point where the business owner is underconfident, they've got their own blockers and their own barriers. And like we've spoken in other episodes, Hayley, about like you feel small, like small within yourself. And for example, if I was if I allowed that perception that I really only have, I assumed people think that I look young and I don't look experienced. And if I let that get in the way, then I probably wouldn't have come to have my photos done. And the second round that we've just done, absolutely, for me, feels like absolute certainty. I know, and I do know in myself now that I know what I'm doing, but people don't get to that probably as quick, maybe. And then they're choosing the best selfie from a barbecue to put on a LinkedIn profile. And
yeah, like, this is me looking confused at a party. Would you like to buy something? You know, I'm selling luxury services, but I've got a photo that says I can't actually find my keys.
Yes.
That's what we're saying, isn't it?
Yeah. And that's not the fact that they are, yeah, I guess it comes back down to like just knowing how much you've got to give as an individual and as a business owner, and really making sure that everything about your business and your brand is really represented. And sometimes you need a bit of help to draw.
Yeah, and I don't know if you always do actually really do know that, and that's okay. That's okay. I'm in a position where I can say to people in a marketing style, look, I can help you. I can help you. I can help you. And I can just keep doing that, and I can just keep being fabulous. What is brilliant for me is a win-win-win. As I always say, if it's a win for me, a win for you, and a win for the universe, triple win. Actually, the act of doing them feels indulgent for me, because I feel like super powerful when I'm doing it. Because I've had people come in there and sit down, and they're not even sure what's happening with their business right now. They want to talk to me about something. Fine, you've got 40.5 minutes, go. But I have to swing it around. It's almost like a TV performance. I set my watch, as you know, Kelly. I set my Apple Watch to buzz on my wrist so that I don't go over time, because my tendency is to ask a lot and say a lot. And if I was given my chance, I'd probably sit there and go, oh, I can see this about you, and this is really lovely, and tell me this about your business. But I have to be really, really what's the word, disciplined about it. And I think a lot can come out of that. And like you were just saying, when do we ever know that we're enough? I don't think that we do. I think that the people like you who trust me as a professional, you've made a decision based on my marketing, which is organic. You've watched me over time. You've seen me in the room. You've seen me talk to other people. You've seen results from other people. Sometimes marketing is a question of sitting and waiting and seeing the results and then going, yeah, I'll have some of that. Like, you know, at the roulette table, watching everybody place their bets, and then you go, oh yeah, no, I'm going to put it on black. I don't know, that's a really weird metaphor, but you know, it for me, I also make art, as you know, and I do huge paintings and all kinds of stuff. So it used to be very difficult for me to explain to people what I did at networking, but I've realised that there is a thread that continues throughout what I do, which is I think now that I create a space for you. I frame how you're trying to connect with others. I can frame it and I can translate it. So I'm like the storyteller, the translator, and the way of you speaking to other people. As long as people trust me, I'm here to do that. I'm here all day for that.
Yeah, I guess I was just thinking then when you said, obviously I've met you through networking, and I think the first time I met you was actually at a small networking, and you took people through how to use your phone to take a selfie.
Oh yeah.
I'm going to ask you to just run through them tips before we finish this conversation. You know, the holder thing. So second.
Yeah. Well, one of the things you should always do is look for the light.
Hang on though. Let me just say my other point was when you said about me doing my photography through you. I guess there's a step back from that, is that and what me and Hayley see is that business owners, they firstly, if they don't understand the importance of marketing, and then the next level to that is the importance of a professional profile picture, and then they've got some barrier within themselves, like there's a whole load of things there, really, isn't there, for small business owners to get through. And then I guess if they think, oh, I do need some professional photography here, and then the big shoots are feeling very overwhelming and they don't know what they need to brief to the photographer or props they need. And
yeah, that's why I kept it short as well.
Yeah, a whole load of things there. It's difficult to tackle as a small business owner in that complete unknown world, and all you want is some professional photography of you or your team.
Yeah.
I've seen that so many times, which is why the pop-up portraits is really great. But I guess the importance of your profile picture, and making sure that it is accurate to you over and above any barriers that you've got. What would you say about that?
It's like a dating profile picture. It's quite acceptable for a dating profile to be a selfie. I'm not sure that a business people there's a stigma. Oh, I'm remembering my words today. That's brilliant. There's a stigma attached to profile photo and headshot. So you notice I don't call them headshots. I call them pop-up power portraits, because it's about unleashing your power. I can see it and I'm happy to show it to others because that's my job. But I am an artist. So therefore there's this huge echo chamber in there. Is that okay? And some people want to use a selfie because they want to say, hey, I'm down to earth and this is me. But taking you back to before, I don't think that it's necessarily authentic, because what you're doing is you're approving a picture of you based on your belief of how you look to the outside world. And in fact, I read an article this morning about, it was a beautiful article online about authenticity, and it said there is no unauthentic self, there is no level of yes or no authenticity, there is only a level of awareness, your awareness of you and your effect on other people. And often the things we don't like and the things we bitch about others is a direct reflection of us. There's this huge problem in that you take your own picture and then you put that out there, approved by you, saying this is me. Is it? I'm not sure. But then you go to, you know, some people are like, oh, I don't want to go and get a headshot done because that's a bit formal, isn't it? I have a, as you know, but I need to remember I'm saying this for the viewers and the listeners here. I have a policy which is I do a phone call and then I say, right, I'm just going to send you a quick link to a few quickfire questions, which are really quickfire. How long did it take you to fill them in, Kelly?
Oh, for me, yeah, like 5 minutes.
5 minutes.
Yeah.
And spoiler alert, one of them is ask someone that you know.
Oh, yeah.
Something that shines about you. Then that gives me a 4-dimensional view of someone outside of the portrait session has said about you. The other week I had someone come in and say on her questionnaire, I think I look like a potato. I think I look like a potato. I need to get past that, because the other thing on the questionnaire is, what do you think your pet peeve is? And she came in the room, yeah, and I've never met her before. I'm going to send her the link to this as well, so that she knows, because we're talking about her. I'm not going to use her name. And she came in the room and I said hello, and I knew who she was because I have everything, like I've got everything printed out with all the slots. I'm very super blinking organised. And she walked in and I knew who she was, and I said, hey, potato. And she burst out laughing. And I said, we'll have no chips, mash or jackets today. And she sat down, and do you know what she did? She had her pictures. She couldn't whittle it down to the favourite 8. So she said, a friend of hers down the pub said, why don't you wait and go and have some more done in the future? I said, why don't you buy the whole set and come and have another session for free? And do you know what? She messaged me today and said, oh my God, I love them all again. What am I going to do? So I've offered her to get the whole set again for a slightly reduced price, because she's now become someone I really want to work with. I want to work with her. She sat there. We talked about her tattoo. We talked about her art. We talked about stuff for 15 minutes. It didn't really matter. What I'm actually top secret, folks. The joke is 15 minutes at the start, I need to see your face move. That's what I'm doing. Oh, see, look at your face right now. So there's the secret for all your listeners. I am really, it's all part of the process. I'm just not telling you that. I need to see you talk. I need to see your mouth move. It's no good going, I have a lopsided smile. It's because you've been trained. I mean, you asked me about phone things. Oh, from when you're young, smile. Come on. When you're a child in your formative years, before you're 7 years old, smile. You've got big adults going in your face. And what do you do to respond to get rid of them?
Yeah, you grimace. So it's not natural. Yeah.
But I did work with an editor once.
Really clever.
And he had like a camera smile. His name's Neil. And when the camera was on him, he'd go, and it was the most brilliant smile. It looked fake in person, but on pictures, it looked fantastic. It's like Katie Price. I photographed Katie Price a few times. Bless her. And before she did all of that, and she did this weird thing when she was in Derby, and she was when it was Westfield, before it was Derbyan. And she stood really weird. She was holding a book, and she said, oh, okay, yeah. You remember this? I said, she said, where do you want me? And when we were allowed to speak to her, because that's what happens with celebrities, they have filters. So it's hard to speak. This is another thing. It's hard to speak to celebrities because they have like a team around them of gatekeepers. And because of that, you use your instincts, and you can make eye contact with a celebrity, and you can speak to them through your eyes and your smile, because normally the gatekeepers don't want you to talk to them because they ain't got time. and they don't want to mess up the media savvy image that they are putting out. So don't forget, celebrities, oh, we could have another conversation about this. Celebrities are even putting out an image based on their yes people who are telling them, this is what we're going to do, Katie. Anyway, she stood there with a book. To close the story, she stood there with a book and she put her weight on her back foot. So she leant. So any of your listeners out there, if you're standing up right now, if you're standing, you should always put your shoulder towards the camera because the shoulder is bolder. If you have a favorite side, use it. Mine's my left. Find out what it is. Do some selfies. If it's the left or the right. Today, I'm on a podcast with you and I have deliberately set this up like this because this is my favorite side.
Okay.
So put your weight on the back foot and then hinge slightly forward at the waist. She did that to me, right? Into. She was holding a book and I thought, what the hell is she? Look at you right now. Look at you girls, right? You've got a strategy. So you've got a strategy. So you're standing there at wedding, party, whatever you want. Never go on the end of a group shot, by the way. So you stand there, put your weight on your back foot and just pretend you've got a hinge just here on your waist and just incline yourself towards the photographer a little bit, yeah? Right. And if you're in a group shot, you are going to look the best. It's not a competition, but it's important for you because the trouble is, over the years, people have damaged your mind by taking pictures. I feel like I'm on an infomercial for mental health. Actually, getting the right picture is best for your mental health because people take pictures on this and they go, oh, look, I've got a really great picture of you, look. And you look at it and you think that at that party, you were living your best life. And they show you a picture that looks like this. And you're like, and it destroys, there's a dissonance and there's a disconnect.
Yes.
And any good feeling you had about that wedding or that outfit is gone because you're like, oh no, I look really bad. Then you start reassessing whether you should have a diet or whether you should get some different moisturizer. It's all rubbish. This person took a picture of you, but you were not their priority. When people have their picture taken by me, they are my priority. I consider myself to be the preserver of memories for future. So I'm like a time traveler. So when somebody looks at my wedding pictures into a wedding, I've provided the time machine because they look at the picture and they go, oh my God, you remember that? What was that prawn cocktail that we had? Oh, wait, what were those shoes that Auntie Doreen was wearing? Right, none of these things are in the picture. Isn't that amazing?
Yes, yeah.
If you apply that to business, so somebody should be able to now look at your pictures, Kelly, and go, and I've injected ingredients into that based on our conversation and our business dealings, and they should be able, it's encoded. It's like AI by me. It's encoded in the picture. I mean, but it doesn't have to be obvious, and it's not okay for people to take pictures of you over the years and ruin your mental health, just like other business things happen and they put you off things. But you deserve to connect with other people in an authentic way. And if you can't do that yourself and go, this is me, then get someone else to do it.
Yeah, it's way deeper than what I actually thought. Like, I knew this from our conversations, but and I guess psychology in the way that I think anyway. But I was just thinking, like, your profile picture needs to be up to date so that when you meet someone in person, you're like, I know the person. Like, you already think that you recognize them, basically. But it's way, way deeper than that.
Yeah, like if you went on a date on a dating site and you met up with a person, they didn't look like their picture. It's not just about they didn't look like their picture. Let's apply this to business. So you have somebody that's on a WhatsApp group chat and a networking group chat. Their picture is, I don't know, a packet of Doritos. What does that even say about their business? Or a picture that doesn't look like them. And then you meet them for coffee, but there's things underneath where you're like, why did you not have?
Why haven't you done that?
Yeah. Do you do that in your business? Do you? So also, I would say, and here's the thing: if you don't want to spend money on photography in your business, there is a return. There's a huge ROI. There's a massive, massive, massive return on investment on photography that people don't tap into enough because of that. And it's natural. I get it. It's fine. And I've taken pictures. I've taken very famous pictures on that.
Okay.
As well as that, there are pictures currently in circulation for huge marketing campaigns where they chose a couple of images which were taken on this iPhone. So it's not even about, oh, is this good enough? Or, oh, yes, Victoria, you use this, don't you? Yes, very fancy or expensive. Yeah, this is hugely expensive and I know how to use it. I don't use it on automatic. I override it. I do everything on manual. I think over the years, storytelling things that were just happening in front of me have enabled me to use my instincts to just jump in and go, right, what's really happening here?
Yeah, you're not quick. Yeah, you're thinking way deeper about what is in front of your eyes, aren't you? About
Hayley, you haven't said an awful lot. What do you think about this?
I've always been of the opinion that your LinkedIn profile picture has to be up to date. It's something that I've always banged on to clients about. I've shared it on LinkedIn and I've said, if you're going to an event, a networking session, if you're a speaker, but generally, even if you were meeting up on Zoom with somebody, if they see your LinkedIn profile, that's who they're expecting. Yet you go to an event and they'll walk straight past you because you don't look like the picture that you put up 15 years ago when LinkedIn started or however long it was. So I'm a great believer in ensuring that your LinkedIn profile picture is up to date. And I believe all your imagery should really reflect your values and your personal traits, who you are as a person, and what you want your brand to say about you, because it is an extension of your brand identity. And people just think logos, brand, color palette. They just think about the business side of it. The imagery is an extension of that. And the imagery of themselves is an even, more emotional connection and extension to that. And I think people forget about it. And listening to you today to hear more, about that and how you work with people to really understand who they are and their characteristics and what they, believe about themselves, and capturing that on camera, is amazing that you have that gift to be able to do that. And I think people forget how important that is. And you're just taking it to another level than I'd kind of even thought of. So I've just been sat absorbing and listening and taking it all in, really. So it's been wonderful.
Yeah,
it's been quite a treat, to be honest. I felt like a listener.
That's amazing. Well, I did used to call it headshots pretty much, and I describe it that way, but now I think of them as legacy portraits, because every snapshot in time we only have now. We really only have now. And this will be past in a minute. Oh, it's gone. So the thing is if you want to connect with other people, we don't always know in that present moment how to best do it. So ultimately, another thing to really mention here as well. Oh, thank you. You've made me think of this. Don't heavily Photoshop the pictures. Kelly can confirm this. I did a boudoir shoot, which we're calling a glow shoot these days because it's more vibey. I did at some points, both ladies were completely naked. I hired a venue in Melbourne in Derbyshire, and they came to me because I'd done some work for their company. Yeah, I can say that. And then they said, listen, I'd love to do, you make us feel really confident. You make us feel relaxed. And we've always wanted some portraits, but we're not sure. Anyway, I hired a venue, bougie venue, amazing, and did some partially clothed ones, underwear shots, really sassy, like with really amazing interior design. Bullivant and Beresford interior design. They've just moved towards a new business where they're like bouging up places. That's a terrible phrase, but she'll know what I mean. Anyway, we did the shoot and I said to him, it's really important you know this. I haven't photoshopped the images, because some people associate boudoir shoots with soft focus, smoothing the skin, getting rid of the wrinkles, picking.
We do a selfie as well, don't we? Like most people have probably got a filter on there.
Yeah, and I haven't.
Real, is it?
It's not real, and it's okay because it is art. But then the reaction I tend to get, so all of the power portraits I sent out last week to all of my sitters, they were like, really blown away, all positive. And I always say, you know, I haven't manipulated these. I could do all kinds of AI, and I don't have any problem with that. But I don't think, again, it's another level, another layer, and to the authenticity. And I think it's more empowering for the person to know that I haven't manipulated how they look. And then
exactly.
there's a whole process to it. And then that person's like, oh, I don't actually look too bad. And then as an operator, I will say, in a session, I will hand them a handout at the end of it that says, here's the things to remember. Here's a checklist for your social media in marketing terms. And by the way, don't just sit with the images and go, oh, which one's the best? Show everyone, show your family, show your children, show your favorite client, because then I'm safeguarding the possibility that that person's going to go, oh, I don't really like my ear in that one. Because it could prevent them from putting out the most banging picture. But if I know that if they ask their husband or they ask someone, normally it's their partner, you know. I mean, Kelly, let's
yeah, well, I asked Ashley on both of my shoots and he chose the ones that I didn't like, and I chose, yeah.
And what did you feel about that? That's really interesting. You didn't tell me that.
Ones I liked, yeah. I just ignored him and did
what did you think of his pictures? Because I did his, didn't I?
His were great, yeah. His were all really good, yeah. Yeah,
the important thing to say probably is that I don't just stand people in front of a background. I have multiple backgrounds, and these days I can do plain white, and if you want an AI background, you can have one. But I get you to bring, oh, we should say that, shouldn't we? I ask you to bring 2 props. Yeah. And that came from an old episode of Whose Line Is It Anyway? Was that what it was? You know, where they used to hold giant toothbrushes and
they'd go between the groups. Yeah.
Or let's say a joke about this. I found that if people brought a couple of props with them, like one person brought an octopus, someone else brought spanners, someone else brought a lightsaber. And the thing is even if I don't have it in the pictures, it breaks the ice. And this is a process honed over years and years and years. Yeah. I feel a huge luxury because I get to sit and communicate with that person. And at the end of the day, I'm helping people step into their power. Whether they're ready for it or not is up to them.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
Great line.
Oh, no, is that it?
That's an in-depth conversation there. And I think you just demonstrating just the importance of a few points. So like understanding yourself, understanding where your blockers are, finding someone that you can trust and have fun with when you're doing something that is important for your business and representative of your brand, and making sure that you're just in the best environment to feel relaxed and enjoy the process and get the most out of it as well.
It is really important to say, by the way, the cleverest of people bring a bunch of props with them, like branded, like notepad things that they can just bang in, and then they can get more for their value for their money.
Absolutely.
Go, oh, take a picture of me with this, and I do close-ups of things and
really direct that as well, which is great. Like give that
and fake client with you from the back and stuff like that. Oh, shouldn't probably say that, but like I can set stuff up. So some people, if they're really clever with it and they know roughly what they'd like to try and squeeze out of it, I'm always up for that. And I really admire people that have, I actually feel very humbled and admire people that have taken the step to say, oh, can we talk about me doing some pictures? I love that.
Exactly. Thank you so much for joining us. We really appreciate it.
Thank you, Victoria.
And the depth of it as well. Like, so important.
I did wonder that I listened to your podcast as well, but with the girl, I've forgotten her name. I'm so sorry. This is the funny thing. She was talking about photography in your business.
Christina.
And I then went on her Instagram. I followed her, and I really loved the way she spoke about empowering people to take their own pictures. I do often send people away with tips on how to pose in the future, like we've talked about today. And I think her conversation with you was fascinating because a lot of photographers are very secretive, like, oh, I can't tell you how it's done, otherwise you'll do it yourself. Well, good, let's all do it. Let's all get our best powerful selves out there in the world. Let's literally be powerful together and support each other in that. I don't have it. By the way, you're probably gonna ask me when my next power portraits are, but I don't have a specific date yet.
No, but if anyone that's listening is interested in Victoria's power portraits, you can follow her on Instagram at Pictoria Events, because you're going to have loads, aren't you, that if someone listens to this episode,
Oh, that'd be amazing.
they can still contact you and find out when your next one is. And all of the details are on pictoriapictures.com as well. So find Victoria over there, have a good chat with her, and yeah, enjoy if you book on. Like, it's such a fun process. I've done it twice now, and I've watched other people go through the process too, and you do see the absolute difference of people walking in.
We've got the makeup now as well. I should probably mention that again. Like, there's a makeup option. Like, somebody from the BBC, a lady from the BBC said, I'd come and have portraits, but I want professional makeup, please. That led to me getting Sam in. So now I have a deluxe option where you come in, you have 40 minutes of makeup, and even people that don't normally wear makeup look amazing.
I did, didn't I, last time?
Well, I wasn't going to say, because I didn't know. You were like, I don't want makeup. I don't need it. And I thought, yeah, you don't need it. I had 2 men last week.
Oh, and they had a little bit.
One of them, you know.
Oh.
The results coming out very soon. And another one is in politics, and they had makeup. And I was thinking, why have they booked for makeup? And then I thought, that's sexist. That is sexist.
Yeah.
And I sat there watching her do it, and I went, oh my God, that's really, really good. It was astonishing. Sorry, I'm getting the conversation going here. See, I can't resist. It's been really nice to come here today and be a guest of yours as well. Thank you, because I'll be sharing this with, especially in the direction of people that aren't sure about this kind of thing.
Yeah, definitely. Thank you so much. Nice to see you, Hayley.
And you, Kelly. Thank you, Victoria.
On episode 27.
See you soon. Take care.
Bye. 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 Bye.